Good afternoon, everyone. We had a very interesting session at ONDC. Um, because our esteemed panelists will have to leave in some time, they have to catch their, trains and planes. We will have to, wind this up in the next 30 minutes or so. Unfortunately, this session was supposed to start at 2, but now it's already 2:45, 46. So keeping that in mind, I will just come to the main points. We wanted to create the base and everything, but right now it's 2020. I came with the objective of a 5-day test match, but suddenly I'll end up playing 2020. So I'll try my best to do whatever we can. First thing, retail innovation and technology trends. So we will take innovation and technology as two pillars to this, and we'll try to cover maximum whatever we can in the next half an hour's time. I would like to start with Deepak sir. Uh, okay, sir, because you can, hit a six on Googly also. So how important it is today, and this is a very, very practical question of not a theoretical one. We heard all the presentations in the morning, and all of them are talking about, tech is an by default the underlying or maybe upfront tech is the thing that is going to take our business to the next level, and ONDC is a classic example. Deepak ji, how important it is for today's retailer to be tech savvy? And my question is not just tech savvy in terms of it, but if you don't adopt and adapt, how important it would be for the retailers of today to survive?
Yeah, this morning also I did mention about technology and the way the mobile phone has now become an organ of the body. So also now with artificial intelligence coming in, machine learning, and so on and so forth. One of the biggest paying jobs in the US today is analytics. There is a whole mass of information that is coming to us, and there is very little absorption by the brain to make use of this information and to use it for further business. So very quickly, I'll just tell you what technology can aid in. One is it's a deep understanding of the consumer in terms of consumer analytics and what the consumer needs are. Then to change the customer experience in the store. Today, you can make your telephone into a beacon. So what happens is when you walk into the phone, you're recognized and you know which aisle to go to, which product that you want, and then your payment is also made immediately. You don't have to be in the waiting line. Sometimes it's a contactless payment, and then you go back and your feedback is again generated back to the manufacturer or supplier. You can do a lot of personalization because of the the needs of the consumer, his behavior. Already it has started in a big way. Like for example, when you're buying something on the net, you like the color blue, you'll suddenly find a lot of blues hitting you. If you're on Instagram and you're looking at some form of jewelry, like ma'am wants a bracelet, then suddenly you'll find every third message that is coming to you is a bracelet. And then you end up buying that bracelet. But the best part of it is you can always return your purchase if you're not satisfied. That's one of the biggest and the best things that has happened in technology also. Then it is necessary also because technology is available that everybody has to go on to omni-channel. Because we were talking in the morning, you can't be the traditional retailer anymore. So when you have the facility like ONDC and things like that, you necessarily have to get into omni-channel. Because the youngsters, the customers are all now looking at how to get things as fast as possible with the least amount of effort. I myself, I fight with my wife, she's right here. If they want a loaf of bread, she would ask the servant boy to go to the market and pick it up. I go to Instamart. Because within 10 minutes, Instamart delivers it to me. So, you take the cost of the person going, his salary, his wages, and if you start costing out that entire purchase, Instamart is way better. So that's what the consumer is looking at. The youngsters will never step out. Like I was saying in the morning, they will not step out from here to that road to take the auto. They will ask Uber to come and pick them up. And a lot of innovation takes place, because when you watch things that are happening, and what happens is the human mind always looks at bettering what the other person has done. So if you've done something, an improvement. So this morning we were talking about Magic Bites. It's a flavors of Kerala mixture. Because the packaging is good, and then spice is extra, and so on and so forth. The product has been able to sell at a much better value than what you would have normally got from the open market. So that is again basically because you've been watching what the other man has been doing. So there again we were talking in terms of retail collaboration rather than competition. That's another big thing, because if you tend to get together, and I'll give you a classic example of when Jayalalitha was alive and she wanted to raise some taxes. The traders protested, and they went to her and said, please take off the taxes, we are willing to do this thing. So she demanded an X amount crores of money. Now they were saying, oh my God, if we give this money, we need not do business, we'll be finished off and all that. Madam had her entire figures, dealer wise, she gave them, this is your volume of sales, this is the percentage, if you spare this amount of money, you can easily give to my government, and this money will go to the poor. So they couldn't talk a word, they had to pay. Because data was available, the feedback was available, and then you have continuous improvement based on the technology that is given. By far the biggest thing that has now happened is employee training and empowerment. Today you can leave your shop to your employee because you're in control. Previously you would not leave the shop alone because, this fellow will walk off with my money, with my customer, with my products and so on and so forth. Today you can control 100 stores, 200 stores. Reliance is controlling 2,000 stores. And just imagine the suppliers to those stores and the amount of information generated from there. Employee training is possible. Technology is easy, so that today we saw Koshi talking to all of us. Tomorrow it can be Biden, or it can be Sunak, or it can be for that Netanyahu also talking about Israel. What you need is just a click on the computer now, isn't it? So technology has taken us to a totally new level, and if we do not start using technology for retail innovation, I think we'll all be left behind. So I think I've answered the question.
Yes, Deepak sir. Ajay, I will come to Ajay George now. Can you tell us about any innovation that you have done, whether it is technical or non-technical, because this is about innovation as well, that can, that has added value to, your business.
Thanks, Hitesh. I think I'd probably narrate my story. I represent a company which is founded in 1929, a third generation legacy owned Ayurveda traditional company. As we all know, Ayurveda is a very traditional and quite conventionally practiced in our state. And in fact, one of the differentiated process that we have done in what we did so far is we've made it convenient to people, because we are one of the first companies in Kerala to have made Ayurvedic bitter extracts, bitter formulations into tablets. We did it in 1970s. And we are one of the most innovative Ayurvedic companies in terms of what we've created over the last many years. So for us, Ayurveda was not about the tradition, the history, or what all we normally say it as what it is. It was all about the knowledge that we could gain out of it, the expertise that we had, and the level of innovation that we applied onto it to create products and services which are very contemporary. What can appeal to, let's say, our children or my children or me. So this is exactly the format that we took. So we never followed what others did. We just went on our path. We decided on what or how the customer would like to consume something, and we went after making it. And the fun part was, we in fact started not being a traditional conventional Ayurvedic company, but rather we had all the elements of tradition, but in a very new format, which was much easier for people to consume, very appealing in terms of how or what they would like to buy it as. Because when we conceived how Ayurvedic products were sold in India, we said, see, it's very crazy, right? because you see those stores which are normally very dusty. It's never in a great place. It's normally at the corner, and you see all the glass with brown, never cleaned. And you have that labels, which are not appealing, and then you're going and consuming that. Come on. This is not what it is all about. It's about what I like to show you, right? I mean, see what I'm using. I mean, see how I smell like. See, what I can give to my friend. It's a great culture, great tradition of Kerala. I mean, of India. And what do we finally? What have we created out of us? And we talk about it so great when we present it so not so great. So this is exactly what we started recreating. So when we started making these products, when we decided it was all in usable tablet consumable forms which were easy to consume. And then we had a big problem because we'd been making a lot of products for lifestyle diseases. But when you look at the data of Kerala, you will have hundreds of thousands of people with diabetes, but few thousands only consuming products. So that is the challenge which we had in 2011. And then that's where we went into retail. And we went out of all places into Cochin airport and they said, we want a store here. And the people at the airport were very stunned and said, what does Ayurveda have to do with an airport? And we said, we want a store at the airport. And then we went in out there, put our products there. And honestly speaking, in 2011, when I put up my first store, I said, it's going to be a loss in 3 months. And my financial guy would come to me in 3 months and say, what, are you crazy? Spending a lot of money on rent, why don't we close it down? And that's where our journey of retail started, where we understood products is not what you sell in a store. It's an experience which you sell in a store. So we had only about 40 products, which we built across the last 12 years into 200 plus products, out of which 110 is on the beauty care space and about 90 odd in wellness. And we've recently started with fragrances. So we're selling high-ended perfumes now. We've started with which is all made from natural actives and it's all natural and very concentrated ones. So we're going to launch another 24 perfumes in the next year. So I just said about my story is, this is exactly what we did. This is our journey, where we went away from what we should be doing. We went away from what people wanted us to do. We never followed anybody. We just wanted to define ourselves in a manner which would appeal to a consumer. And today we have about 25 stores across India, mostly at airports and at malls. And we believe that Ayurveda has a huge value and needs to be presented in a manner which should appeal to people. And believe it cannot be cheap too. Because we're expensive. We want it to be expensive because we said the value of what we sell is not cheap. It is really value for money. And if you're not really, asking for the value, you're selling it cheap. So that's exactly how the model worked. And of course, on the technology side, we are learning constantly. I learned a few things today from Haeal, and I think so that's a journey. I mean, because you have to learn such a lot. Because like Deepak said, technology is crashing everything out, inside out. And unless we are ready to get crashed, get reformatted, and are willing to reconstruct ourselves, I guess there's a huge problem. And the interesting thing is, as somebody said today morning, you realize that you're getting old because technology is either getting too fast or you're getting too old because it's crazy out there. So I said, it's a time where you need to really let your kids start selling your products because the times have changed and the technology has changed such a lot in the last few years that, I think it's time for us to really start relooking at our entire business models from a tech angle than from a product angle. So what I was telling you was the last 10 years journey. So now I'm saying that's no more relevant. Today, let's start thinking about tech and start reconfiguring what we've created across the last many years from a perspective of tech. So I would see tech as the next driver and products that will be following it and the consumers being at the center of it. So this is how I'd like to put it out. I guess I've answered the question on it. Yeah?
Yes, you have, Ajay. I think a round of applause for Ajay. The reason is simple. If you look at this 70-year-old company, 90-year-old company, but Ajay decided one fine day, 2011, he ventured into airports. Now that is a bold decision, and that is what innovation is all about. How can an Ayurvedic company get inside an airport? So that's the innovation that he got in terms of the place part of it. Product part of it, from 20, 40 products to how many? 200 products. 200 products is something. Now, this is where again the innovation comes in as an entrepreneur, that today I am selling XYZ products, but what is the scope of it? So that's the product part of it. I won't use the word promotion, but he is ventured into fragrances now. Okay, so I can say an extended diversification, I will call it as more of a concentric diversification rather than a conglomerate diversification, where he decided that let's get from now Ayurveda to fragrance, and then there will be 100 such channels on fragrance itself, candles and so many other stuff that can be a part of it. So this is again an innovation that he has done, and now he's talking about tech. So 90 years, great grandfather started everything, and then father, grandfather, father, and now he has taken this business to this level. Now the next step is the digital part of it. But remember what Koshi or somebody said, that it is just a medium, okay? But and it is not your business. It will be more of an enabler to your current and existing business. So with this, I think this is very inspiring story as well, Ajay, where you have reached today with 24. How many outlets? 24 outlets, and that also is again something from a manufacturing person completely to a retailer with 24 outlets is again a testimony of the fact that he has done a lot of innovation. We'll go to Gopa, and Gopa, your category is extremely rich and high value. Okay, Bhima Jewelers is a very big name as well. Can you tell us something from the innovation and or technology perspective? What trends you have seen, plus what innovation or technology you have adopted?
So namaskaram and good afternoon to all.
You can speak in Malayalam also. I will get the essence of it.
I'm not very sure of that, Hitesh, but I could throw in some tongue twisters for you, just to have fun. Just pronounce Muvattupuzha and I'll speak in Malayalam.
Sorry.
Just pronounce Muvattupuzha and I'll speak in Malayalam.
What?
Muvattupuzha.
What?
What? Okay. Yeah.
Mala.
So Hitesh, we'll have some classes on the side, and as an RAI member, I'll not charge you for it, okay? So nevertheless, yeah. So nice to be here, and I thank Malabar Chamber of Commerce for putting this platform up, and also RAI and the way they're going about doing things. Nice to be part of this. So just to come to, before I kind of speak about what we've done in technology, I think a couple of words about Bhima. Bhima is a legacy brand serving 4 generations of consumers and predominantly present across South India, and also has some presence in UAE now. So that's really what it is. It's a 99-year-old brand, right? And we try to be relevant. Coming to the technology question, I think it's important to just step back and look at it in a different perspective. And maybe there are retailers here, who think that technology is that magic, like the Harry Potter wand, right? You just kind of swing it and things happen for you. That's not going to happen if you choose the wrong technology. And I have seen organizations which have worked in the past in fashion and food, and illustrious organizations wherein, the minute you implement technology, your sales nosedive by as high as 30-40%, because change management has not been taken care of, right? People are not having the skills to adopt that technology. So especially in a legacy organization and an organization that's got a profitable and a rich history which is there, it's important to keep the business very relevant and profitability around the corner. So the first thing that we've done, and we are now on board, we moved from legacy hierarchy systems to a Microsoft Dynamics 365 environment. It's very good for jewelry, is what we think it is, right? We're learning as we go along. We've implemented it, and it's quite a sizable investment to do that, because Bhima has a vision to scale up and to serve many more cities across the country, right? So we've invested it now. We've taken the hard pill. The first thing that we did was to kind of change the mindset within the organization, right? So how do you kind of, you keep people prepared for it, that this is coming, right? And then there is obviously some dissonance. There are question marks that come through. Patiently answer that, because changing mindset is a process. Yeah, it takes time, and the culture, it could impact the culture of your organization. Your culture is about serving consumers. Culture is about being very responsive. Culture is to carry people along the way, right? So all of this is very, so when you do change management, learning and development departments, HR department, and the managers when they talk to down the team, and also the promoters, right? Getting all of them aligned to say this is what are the likely scenarios that are going to happen. So all of you, if you're looking at technology scale up, and if you think it is a magic wand which is going to solve your problems, or you'll get a set of new people to come and do it for you, and the old people are going to get ignored, that's not going to work. You got to stay relevant to your consumers, new and old, and also to your employees, new and old, right? So find that balance, find that right technology, test it out. Don't be in a hurry to do it in a calibrated fashion. So first thing is mindset, and then is a skill set. The second part that we worked on in Bhima is to look at those skill sets. How do we reskill people within the organization to do better master database management, CRM management, customer relationship management, or running a loyalty program or a digital platform, right? All of this we have, luckily now we have completed. It's been a journey. So upskilling, and then if you find gaps, you don't have that e-commerce skill set, you don't have a person who understands, Vinculum, which does an order management system, get that person, recruit very targeted, in a very targeted way, fill those skill set gaps which are there, and let them complement the others who are already there, who understand the business so well, and jewelry is so intricate that you need to really understand the business. And finally, coming to technology, right? I mean, technology, it's all about survival. If you're not looking at technology in a way which will give you that edge, then, you might be 99 years old or 100 years old. You're not going to be relevant going forward. You have to be relevant today. You have to be relevant tomorrow. Yeah. So as far as technology is concerned, I think what you need to look at is, look at where your consumer is, right? If the consumer is at the store, and for us at the store, we have implemented augmented reality trials which are there at our store. Consumers come and select thousands of design, allows me to introduce new products there, showcase my new lines which are there, consumers to experience these lines, shortlist, and send it to their friends and family, and then get a thumbs up or whatever on WhatsApp. So AR is working very well for us. We have done in Hyderabad. We've opened 5 stores in Hyderabad. In last 1 year, 14 months, we opened 5 stores. A lot of investment has gone in there. We believe there's a lot of business to be had from there. And we are seeing great response there in Hyderabad from the augmented reality, thing that we've done. Personal shopper. Another thing, I think, appointment shopping and scaled up to personal shopping experience through an app, through a technology. It is giving 3 times the average bill value of what a normal consumer buys. The normal consumer's ticket size is 60,000 or 63,000 for us. This is going up to 2 lakhs. Because personal shopper, discerning surveys, by appointment, and being met by a person who is skilled to sell the diamonds or the luxury product in that way is really helping for us, right? So, and also NPS. If you've not implemented NPS, Net Promoter Score, wherein you are looking at it in the inputs from the consumer, the CSAT from the consumer, the survey that instantly comes into you. All of this allows you to be very responsive and make those corrections immediately there. So we have an NPS right now, probably which is industry leading. It's about 96 is what we are now recording, and we do it every single day religiously. We check that, and then we check the sales. So NPS is down, sales is down, right? So all of these things we have kind of done.
Could you correlate with NPS down and sales down?
Absolutely. A store which is performing at an NPS of 90 typically has lower conversions, lower ticket size, and probably some management has to be tightened there. So it is really correlated, and the insights that you get from the NPS, the way you structure your questionnaire, helps you to make those course corrections. Is it merchandising? Is it pricing? Is it service? What is it? Is it billing, cashiering, schemes that you have, and then you can make those corrections.
Okay, so Deepak ji.
Just to add on to what he said, Titan is opening a store in Hyderabad for a 10 lakh rupee per customer plus.
Okay.
Minimum purchase, 10 lakh.
So now the store itself is segmented. No need to get inside one store, and so I will give that example later because Deepak ji, years back I had gone to Coimbatore, 1,500 sari, 3,000 sari, 5,000 sari, 7,000 sari, 10,000 sari. So the segment was there. So I started with 1,500 and I ended at 8,000 something. Then I stopped there and I said, it is not 8,000 for me. It is 8,000 into 2. I have to take 2 home, not 1. So that's the way it was. But now it 10 lakh plus. So this is where people have I know we have challenge for time. Rahul, can you also like our esteemed panelist share what innovation you have done. And I heard the introduction what Anilji said about the brand. Can you take us through what innovation you have done? Whether it's tech or non-tech over the last few years.
So I am also in retail. So as a second standard kid, I used to spend time, and I know I have to score 20 runs in 1 over. Let me try. So
Excellent.
we have a heterogeneous bunch of people here from different industries and stuff. So first of all, technology is important, but there are people who are specialized in tech and who are doing really well. So trying to reinvent Artho Illanana in the understanding, trying to work with ONDC opens up a lot of things. So that is, I think, typically when I go for a lot of these functions. One takeaway is what I try to take, and the takeaway for me was ONDC, and that I should explore a lot and understand. So that's one for me. And from technology point of view, paya technology core product are important. Like he mentioned NPS. Similarly, your store rating is very important. And technology has made a good product succeed faster and a bad product fail faster. So the worst thing to do for a bad product is to advertise. So then you fail faster, right? So you advertise and people know the product faster and you fail. So that is one. So from a Haeal perspective, what we've experimented is when people walk on the aisle, this is from a supermarket or hypermarket perspective, is that there is a light that blinks so people look at the product. These are small things that make a big difference. People looking at the product leads to much higher conversions. And recently we've implemented this app wherein, one is tracking the sales, but we have store promoters where they promote and sell products. So they have to enter their sales per day. Right now it's still on WhatsApp, but it has to change. And now from a retail perspective, we have this pharmacy in Cochin called MG Medicals. So consumers expect the product in 1 hour, 45 minutes. Everything is linked to Instamart now. So expectations are right up there. So it is quite important that you figure out how to kind of either set expectations so that you deliver within those times, or work around to ensure that you deliver in 45 minutes. And my dad runs that shop, so no chance of donezo. It is scheduled. So it takes 6 hours, 8 hours, so expectations are set. Sales is missed, but it is still what it is, right? So, and from another perspective is namko online, as a brand, Haeal, we did a lot of online sales. So the more we sold, the more we lost in terms of money, because each order was losing, you can hear me, right? Each order we were losing about 150 rupees, and we were doing 500, 600 orders a day. It's a lakh a day of loss. So we decided to scale that down. Now what we do is, at least we used to, is spend a lot of money online to convince consumers to understand about the product. So get people to talk about the product, because consumers spending, you have to be where the consumers are, and online like they spend time on their phone also. So given that that's what it is, we try to get to the consumers on the phone, but give this last 10 seconds for me is that ads it and nobody looks at it. For this, you can just look at all your influencers you follow or celebrities you follow. When they do an ad, where it's an outright ad, you can see engagement. You can see number of views. The algo kind of screws up. So any ad you do should probably be something where it is engaging with the consumer. In a way, it doesn't look like an ad. I know I'm trying to sound a little complicated. Yeah. An ad by itself will not engage consumers. But if you bombard them with keeping on doing that, maybe it will help. I'm not saying it won't. Or it has to be fantastic, which comes across once in a while. But that's about it.
Can you just repeat the loss part of it? Because why did you do it? And when did you realize that now this is the time I have to stop it?
Yeah, so a lot of, since some of my batchmates are VCs and all that, I went and talked to them. And they told me, don't do for the price points. We were priced like Unilever and trying to sell like Mamaearth, because that's the flavor of the season, right? So I tried to sell like that, and they told me don't sell, but you think you're smarter than them and than the VC friends, and you try to sell online and do that, and you realize you're losing money. And when you start losing money for a long period of time, then you kind of think and understand that the more you sell. And one thing is, one carry on the online lo parayan aadiyathe 100 order 1000 order vikkumbol ellam vela koravaanu, inni adutha 1000, the next 1000 you sell will be cheaper. It doesn't work like that. The more you scale, the more costly it becomes to acquire a customer, typically. I mean, unless you have like 60% retention, right? But those are myths we have heard of, but I don't think anyone really has 60% repeat customers. I mean, generally, unless you're not growing and it's small. So my point is, once you understand the product, you understand after you spend a lot of money, you learn like that. I mean, that's the best. It's like a executive MBA, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
Thanks.
Yes. Deepak ji, since we have got another 5-7 odd minutes, from your end, and then Ajay also to give your parting comments in terms of what today's retailers need to focus on as far as innovation is concerned, and it can be any innovation, and tech, if you have already given the tech piece. So I would like you to concentrate more on the innovation advice before you can leave.
One thing that we have done, actually, we have a
Yeah.
we have a chain of raiment shops, and the campaign on social media that we have now formed is basically, engaging with the customer on his wedding day. So we start by videographing his purchase, his wedding, and then later on he sends us back his wedding pictures and even his honeymoon days. So a story is created and we put it on. So he becomes the Shah Rukh Khan of the movie.
Very good. Customer is the king, and your King Khan becomes the customer
So
king.
all these stories are very gripping stories. You must watch them on Raymond Kochi on Instagram.
Wow. Very good. So this is a marketing innovation, and that's what we need. Yes, sir. Please continue.
But also, I'll tell you the flip side of it, like Rahul was saying. See, all these efforts are basically like drops of sweat collected in a glass. Drop by drop, you fill the glass. One drop of ink can spoil the whole thing. So this is where reviews come in. A bad review, as you must have all seen the movie Chup with Dulquer Salman. If you have not seen it, please see it. It's a story about how movies are being reviewed and how a movie can crash, disaster. All the efforts, the money is put in, and all that, finally forces. So the Gurudutt movie, in which Gurudutt finally commits suicide because of the class movie that he made. The movie was great, but he committed suicide. Basically because the critics gave bad reviews. So in this particular movie, I will not tell you the story of the movie, but please try and watch Chup. So please watch out for reviews, because these reviews can kill your product.
Okay, just to add on what Deepak ji said and exactly what Gopa also spoke about NPS. So somewhere or the other, the feedback. Now technologically we are taking the feedback from the consumer, and this is where your brand is being made. So please don't be under this impression, which I always tell myself, that branding always happens whether you do or you don't do. Branding will happen, and a good or a bad. For example, the opinion what Deepak ji is talking about, that's what the customer feedback is. No customer will never give a feedback. He may not say it, but the feedback is always created in his mind, because that's what the experience is all about. We'll come to that part if we have got time. Ajay, your parting remarks for this.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think in retail or in business, my whole take is there's never something called as an end to it. I mean, there is never something that we can call as success. I mean, it's an ongoing journey. Challenges are a whole lot out there, and there is more to come, and it's going to be bigger, worse, and more complex than what we see today. But my whole take is, see, every problem, every challenge has a way out. Number one, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, and you'll always be able to understand how you should be able to maneuver through this big black clouds. I mean, it's just that, what you see, what it does. But the good thing about today is the opportunities are equally good and great, and it's just multiplied so much. So today when I was talking to somebody, I said, the two problems I have is I'm not getting good people, I'm not able to do a lot of things, I'm getting frustrated because the plate is so much with things what you ought to be doing or what you should be doing. You're not able to do it because the kind of skill set, as I think Gopa said, the kind of knowledge and kind of resources that you need, it's not cash. It's people, it's technology, it is time that you need to work around. And I think the world is so full of opportunity. I mean, maybe something which was there is no more there, but something that was not existent is today there. So the question is now, how do you jump? How do you grab? Do you have the resources? Is your organization ready? Like Gopa said, is the organization ready? Is the mindset ready for it? Is the culture ready? Do you have the right technology? So the point is, we are always in a constant state of transition, a constant state of change. The question is, how ready are we to embrace change? How ready are we to, like today morning we were saying, like, are we ready to change for the consumer, for the markets? Are we ready to recreate ourselves, reformat ourselves, and reconstruct ourselves to start capturing the new opportunities and to also groom our organizations to, utilize these opportunities for large growth? I think that's a summation I can do in 5 minutes, but I think there could be more I could have said. But I think Vande Bharat is not going to wait for me and Deepak, so we need to run. And the innovation that is there, but
They
it's
have
on
a
time.
train to catch in 1 hour's time, so we'll have to really excuse them.
But we would love to really speak a lot, but I don't
See,
think we have time.
we have Rahul with us, and if you know Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, Rahul has to also catch the train.
Ja, jeele apni zindagi. Come on, good. But what we will do is, Deepak ji, we can, I think we can, Anil ji, what do you suggest? Because Kumar is also here,
Right.
and we have his presentations, and then the CEO of Reliance Trends, his presentation is also there. So we will really have to,
Right.
Okay. So let's a final parting word from Gopa yourself, please.
One sentence from me, and then
Yeah.
I'll say Vande Bharat.
Vande Bharat, yeah.
See this.
Rahul, you also.
Again, on movies, we have 2 sets of movies. The movie series of the Dawn. Yeah, Dawn 1, Dawn 2, Dawn 3, and it goes on. And we also had Dhoom. Dhoom 1, Dhoom 2, Dhoom 3. Retail is all that. You have to be
Absolutely.
the Dawn, and you have to create the Dhoom.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Gopa, your parting words. Rahul.
Okay. So very quickly, I think again to retailers who are looking at this whole e-commerce bandwagon that's happening out here, my kind of suggestion would be that if you're not already in e-commerce, I mean, be on WhatsApp, with catalogs, be relevant there, be where the consumer is already there. The consumer is already there on WhatsApp, then be there with that catalog. If you're not on e-commerce, if you're not doing your own e-commerce, then be in those marketplaces. You are not going to make money out of the marketplaces. Be with that one marketplace which allows you to catalog your product, that is digitize your assets. Very important to kind of do that. And then also learn order fulfillment, order management, learn that whole piece, and then you are ready for doing that e-commerce of yours, because it's very expensive to really go out there. And someone mentioned today morning that e-commerce should not be looked at separately as a kind of a business line at this point of time. Look at it as an extension of your business, look at it as a channel. So I think if you do this in terms of learning the ropes through marketplaces, creating those digital assets and organizing your data very well, then I think you can really take that scale up and be where your consumer is. Whichever marketplace, ONDC, lovely presentation there. I think all of us should be there and completely should leverage that. Yeah, so thanks. That's it from my side.
Last word, Rahul.
Yeah, one ball, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, quickly, the pie is changing from e-commerce to from traditional to e-commerce, but absolute pie is also growing. So traditional retail is here to stay. You have to just be innovative. That's one. And secondly, you can't do everything. So whatever you do, focus on that. But technology, we build it, work with platforms that are already there. And that's about it. Thank you.